So Uncharted is the brand new adventure movie, and it's based off of the PlayStation games. So is it the next Sony movie franchise? Let's talk about it. Street smart Nathan Drake is recruited by seasoned treasure hunter Victor Sully Sullivan to recover a fortune amassed by Ferdinand Magellan and lost 500 years ago by the House of Moncada. Uncharted is the brand new Sony Pictures movie that stars Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg, and is a movie that Sony believes is going to be their next big movie franchise. It is based off of the PlayStation game. Just so you guys know, I'm not a fan of those games. I have never played them before, and so I went to this movie not knowing anything about the content area. All I knew was it was an adventure movie, basically kind of like a Tomb Raider, or in this case, one of my favorite characters of all time, Indiana Jones. That's all I knew about it, and so going into it, I was just looking for some fun. And at the end of the day, it was a movie that I think just disappointed me, and I'm not even a fan of the games. I thought there were a lot of flaws with it, to a point where I just need to turn off my brain just so I can have a little bit of fun with it. Basically, this movie is my definition of a Dean movie. Now, what I mean by a Dean movie, well, here's the definition there right for you. Dean movie, a dumb, fun movie with a lot of action. A movie where you don't have to pay attention and just turn off your brain and have fun. Those movies include like Twister, A-Team, and Sahara. And the reason I call them Dean movies is because my dad, those are his favorite movies of all time. These movies are they're not cinematic masterpieces. They're movies where you just turn off your brain, have fun, dumb action, and just have a good time with it. This is the perfect Dean movie. And so, at the end of the day, it's not that well made, but I did have some fun with it. Just starting with some good things that I had in it. I believe Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg had good chemistry together. I think the two of them just worked well because both of them are very storied actors. They know what they're doing. They're with this franchise now. And so, obviously, when they're on the screen together, they bounce off each other very well. I thought Antonio Banderas did a good job as a villain. His presence is menacing the entire time. And so, I really appreciated his presence throughout the movie. The third act actually had a lot of fun action. There was a lot of fun action that had throughout the movie. So if you're in it for some dumb fun action, you got that going for you. Especially the third act delivered some fun action for that. And you know what? I'm a sucker for these action movies. These action adventure movies, I am a sucker for them. Sometimes I just have a delight with them. But this movie inevitably just delivered a lot of bad with it. And so with some of those bad is that parts of the treasure adventure made no sense. Like where people went, how they collected some items, just didn't quite correlate with the story and how it all centered around this, and like some of the pieces just didn't match. Also, a lot of the character motivations didn't make sense, why characters were doing certain things, and that also kind of correlates with our two main characters. I don't think the two main characters had developed that well together, which was sad because the main goal for this movie was to get these two introduced together in a movie, kind of have their origin, and then so they can sprawl this franchise from there. And unfortunately, the characters that work together with Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg, even though they're fantastic actors, just the characters did not work well together, in my opinion. And so that unfortunately disappointed me. There were lots of twists in this movie. I can't even count how many twists they tried pulling in this movie. And sadly, not a lot of them worked. Some of them made the movie worse. And I just watched those. I'm like, why'd you do that? You had something good, and then now because the goal there was just to subvert expectations. And at that point, good job, you did it. But at what cost? You know, and so at the end of the day, is it dumb fun action? Yes. Is it a cinematic masterpiece? No. And it's not a movie that I believe is going to be stuck in my head for a while. At least the good news for Sony Pictures is that it came out that in the first week of the box office internationally, it made over $100 million. And the CEO of Sony Pictures believes that this is the next big movie franchise for Sony Pictures. And I saw that, I was like, really? I'm kind of surprised by that. I'm not surprised by the numbers, but they believe this is a big movie franchise. I feel like Uncharted could become the Fast and Furious of Sony, where Fast and Furious is not a cinematic masterpieces, but it's dumb fun action. It is, and and you have a big following with that, and a lot of people love those movies, and I like a few of them. It's not my franchise, and so I feel like Uncharted is going to become that, but for action adventure. Where at the end of the day, for action adventure, am I going to put in Indiana Jones or Uncharted? I'm always going to go Indiana Jones, but Uncharted just didn't live up to what I was expecting. I wasn't expecting a lot, and even with that, just didn't quite mesh with what I was expecting. Now we're going to go on to the review part of, obviously, of this review, where I finally give my grades on this. There are 3 sections I'm going to use for grading movies. The first of which is called a zip zap. Basically, what the zip zap is a 1-sentence review, where if I had to boil down my thoughts and opinions about a movie in 1 sentence, this is what it is. Called the zip zap. My zip zap for this movie is that it is a perfect D movie, but is one that just hurt my head. And then now I have 2 other ways so I kind of grade movies. One is how, like cinematically, film-wise, making-wise, character story-wise, that's where being more on my grade, because I am a teacher, so I'm going to do more of a grade style with that. And then I kind of have an entertainment scale, which I'm going to call the candy bar scale, where I say how fun it was, more than just how much fun I had at the movie theater or how much fun actually watching the movie. So to begin with, we have the candy bar scale, which I'm going to give this an M&M, which I'll show right here as well. Basically where the M&M lands. I think it is a fun time at the movie theater, so I believe it is an M&M movie. And then for the grade for this movie, I am going to give it a C-. So there you have it. Those are my thoughts on the new Uncharted movie. Obviously, I love Indiana Jones. I love history, and I love what this story was being told. Just not a fan of the movie altogether. I do have more reviews coming out here in the future. I've seen 3 other movies this year so far, so I will hopefully get a video of that up here shortly. And so please stay tuned for the upcoming content. If you'd like to see my last video where I give you my top 10 most anticipated of 2022, please just click right here. And hopefully I pointed the right way. If I didn't, you learn, you live and you learn. Like always, if you leave a comment, what were your thoughts on the Uncharted movie? Please no spoilers for anyone. And as always, keep being awesome.